Hello and welcome to this video on wrapper class in Java. In this video, we'll be seeing about what is wrapper class and the different data types that can be wrapped, coding examples to understand them better. So let us dive into the coding part. The wrapper class in Java is used to convert primitive data types like int, char, float, double, etc. into corresponding objects. So each of the primitive data types have their corresponding wrapper class. For example, I'll write my primitive data type byte with capital B instead of small b as capital B YT. So now this is my primitive data type and this is my wrapper class. So same goes for Boolean. I'll write my primitive data type with small letter and my wrapper class in my capital letter. And for char, I'll write it as character. So the full form of char is just character, right? As character. And then I would write my double again with my capital D. I would write my float again with capital F. I would write my int as integer, the full form of it, and then long as capital Long. At last, I would have my short written as capital Short. So in Java, I'll write my primitive data types in small letters and in short forms. My wrapper class in capital letters with their full forms. So this is just for you to understand. Let's do a small coding example to understand them better. Yeah. So we can now convert primitive data types to wrapper objects. We're gonna use the value of method to convert primitive data types into their corresponding objects. So I have a class test main here and public static void main. What I'll do, I'll initialize variable int a is equal to 5 and double b equal to 5.65. Yeah. Now that I have my two primitive data types, I'll convert them into wrapper objects. So how do I do that? I'll be using my value of. So I'll have my integer a object equal to integer of dot value of, and I'll have my variable a. Same goes for double. If you can guess it right, double b object is equal to capital double dot value of b. So now, how do I check if these both are wrapper classes instead of the variables a and b? I can use a if loop to check instance of method and check if it's integer or double. So what do I mean by that? I'll have my if statement a object instance of. So this method is used to compare if their data types match. So I'll have my print statement integer object creator. Similarly, I'll check my b object. B object instance of double. I'll have my system dot out dot println double object created. So now this is a fully functioning code. So what I've done is I created two primitive data types, A and B and assign those values for them. And then I've used my integer, that is nothing but the wrapper class object, to initialize variables A object and B object and associated them with the value of method and used my A and B as parameters for them. So what happens, my primitive data types are now converted into wrapper objects. To check if they are converted, I'm just checking if both are associated with their respective wrapper classes. Now let me try to run the program. As you can see, integer object created and double object created. So it is a success. So in the above example, we have used value of method to convert primitive data types into objects. And then we have used instance of operator to check whether the generated object is integer or double type or not. However, the Java compiler can directly convert the primitive data type into corresponding objects. For example, I can even write it in a way where, instead of writing all these stuffs, I can just associate them with A and associate them with B, and our Java compiler is capable of performing the operation on their own. As you can see, still our code works, but the first method that we did is the one where we can be sure that it's converted. So this process known as autoboxing. To learn more, we'll be seeing about them in a different video. So a small note is that we can convert primitive types into wrapper objects using a wrapper class constructor, but the use of constructor was disregarded from Java 9. So now, how do we do the inverse? How do we convert the wrapper object into a primitive type? To convert objects into primitive types, we use the corresponding value methods like int value, double value, float value, etc. to present in each wrapper class. So what do I mean by that? I'll just remove this code. And what I'll do, I'll create two wrapper classes. Integer A object is equal to integer dot value of, we'll have the value 23 maybe, yeah. And then we'll have a double B object is equal to double dot value of, and I'll have it as 23.5. So now I have two wrapper class objects A and B with the values 23 and 23.5. So now I need to convert them into primitive types. So how do I do that? I'll associate my int A is equal to A object dot int value of that object. So this is an inbuilt method in our wrapper class where we can convert these objects into their own integer values, primitive types. The same goes for double. Double B is equal to B object dot double value, and I'll give a semicolon. Now I'll try to print the values. So now if these values are printed, I can be sure that my values are converted from wrapper class to integer variables. Value of A and B is 23 and 23.5. So in the above example, we have used the int value and value double value method to convert the integer and double objects into their corresponding primitive types. However, Java compiler can again automatically convert their objects into their primitive types. So what do I mean by that? I wouldn't require this int value. This would be automatically called by the wrapper class to convert them, and we would still get our answer. As you can see, we can see the values 23 and 23.5 are automatically converted. So what is the advantage of wrapper class? In Java, sometimes we might need to use objects instead of primitive data types. So mainly when we work with collections, in such cases, wrapper class help us to use primitive data types as objects. Another way where wrapper class is useful is we can store the null value in wrapper objects. So if I just write int a is equal to null, it wouldn't generate an error. But in the same case, if I use my integer a for my wrapper class, it wouldn't print an error. So what do I mean by that? I'll just remove the statements. And if I give int a equal to null, see, we might arise an error. Incompatible types. Null cannot be converted to an int. So yeah, but the same thing when I initialize it as a object class. I'll remove the statement here. And check wouldn't be thrown with an error during the compile time. As you can see, we do not get an error. So in these cases, we use wrapper objects over primitive types. A simple note is that primitive types are more efficient than corresponding objects. Hence, when efficiency is the requirement, it's always recommended to use a primitive type. Yeah. So in this video, we saw about what is a wrapper class, the different object names for different primitive types, and a few coding examples to convert them into objects and types correspondingly. Hope this video is helpful. See you in the next video. Thank you.